Tonight on Honor's podcast, we are going to get into the food booths that popped up at Universal Studios Florida. Ooh, she's one happy girl. We also have a Scarezone. Finally. We have a Scarezone announcement that I can't wait to get into because it has a lot to do with the Tram announcement that happened on the West Coast. And the final house at HHN Hollywood has been announced. And I'm going to say some things. All that and more on Honor's podcast. This is my friend Bob.
Hey, how you doing?
Perfection!
That's as good of a Beetlejuice impression you're gonna get.
I love how, long that foot kicked out right there.
Oh, my foot.
Woo!
Oh, my legitimate foot. Got
Your
it. Your
legitimate foot. All right, let's give you some screen time. I don't like... There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Hello.
Welcome into Honor's podcast, your favorite podcast. I am the host of this
With the
illustrious...
most.
Hey, that's my line. I'm Zak Hilton. And with me, and I said I would only do it once, and I think she's here. So she's the one, the only Black.
That's me.
That's her. Sorry if that sounded a little too Vinny. All right, so tonight we got a lot to get into, but first I got to get this announcement out.
My earrings.
Yes, you have the earrings. As you can see, no feet.
No feet.
No feet. And I have this Bob, this Bob Sipper that we got at a movie theater. And movie theater, Hunters, no feet. We are going to do trivia. We're going back. We're going back to Cinema Cafe, Edinburgh location to host Tim Burton trivia on the premiere day of Beetlejuice. I am so excited to work with Cinema Cafe again to do this. We have so many good memories with Cinema Cafe, and it's just going to continue now to Beetlejuice. We're so excited.
And they have their own special tea drink. Specialty drink.
Hey, what's your drink?
No, they have a specialty drink for Beetlejuice. And I am super excited to try it.
Yes.
I loved the one that they did for Ghostbusters, so I am excited. I love working with Cinema Cafe because I like going there, but I really do love working with them.
Absolutely, and I love the Edinburgh location. It has a wonderful bar area, and that's where we'll be hosting this trivia, so be on the lookout. More details down the pike, but have September 6th ready for you to go see Beetlejuice. I was just trying to see how long I could go. Anyways, Hey, Patreon members, thanks for being Patreon members.
We love you.
Christy, Brady, Joe, Michelle, Mark, Mariah, Nicole, Justin, Bonnie, the Chad. Thank you so much for being a member of the Thrill Me Podcast Network. Ooh. Also, we have sweet t-shirts that are on TeePublic right now. Just search Thrill Me Podnet, and you will find sweet merch that you can get into. All right.
And if you are part of our Patreon members, we have really been doing some HHN homework. We have finished the Insidious saga. Is that what you would say?
Yeah, we'll say saga.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
And whoo, it was a doozy.
Yeah, we just put out 3 and 4, the chapters on that. We're about to record 5 and our final thoughts. That'll be ready to go by this weekend, and we have more homework to do. A Quiet Place is around the corner. Universal Monsters around the corner. So get in to our Patreon and hear or look at us. All right.
Hear our thoughts.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this. Let's start. I'm not. What is that? Who made that?
An espresso martini.
A pumpkin.
A pumpkin
spice.
Espresso martini. I'm ready for Halloween.
Yes, you are. Okay.
Season. Not like actual. I mean, I am.
So
okay, but you know what I mean.
Okay. let's get into these food booths. One of Brooke's favorite part about Halloween Horror Nights is the food. And I'll be honest, I enjoyed the theming towards the booths a couple of years ago for the 31.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell they were trying to go for, country, Halloween spooky, nothing too serious. That's out of the window now because...
Last year, they had the Chucky booth, which was very... Like, the theming was on point.
Last of Us,
on point.
Right.
But then they had a lot of booths that were just generic, like an overall, and I don't think that they put enough theming into it. Because at the end of the day, the lines at the booths don't stop.
Right.
They just don't stop.
Don't stop thinking.
So I loved seeing the theming that they did this year.
Yes, and let's get into it. We'll start with the one that was shown first and everybody loved. I loved. These are the booths in New York, and we have the Ghostbusters Firehouse on the right, and we also have Ivan's Deli on the left. And Ivan's Deli is kind of my favorite, though I love the Firehouse. I love Ivan's Deli because it's a nod to Ivan Reitman, and it also says family owned since 1984. 84 is when the movie came out. And also Jason Reitman is doing the Now series. So I love that, but that Firehouse looks so cool. If you look on the top half of it, there's that center thing. Someone said this, and so I'm just stealing it. Suck it. That's where the Ghostbuster emblem is going to go. So instead of sticking out and doing the Ghostbusters, how it pops out, they'll just put it on top right there by those 4 windows.
Shut the front door.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. Can I just tell you?
You can kind of tell.
Yeah, but can I just tell you?
Yeah, tell me. That's what I want
the
you
way
to tell
that
me.
they look, like the detail on them looks so good.
Right.
Like, I really feel like they heard the assignment and spent all the budget on the house. Like on the food.
On the food.
On
like,
the food
and
houses.
The
yeah.
the food houses.
The food houses. The houses that hold the food and I purchase from.
Yes, 100%. They have that stereotypical castle one we've seen.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel the need to show that, but they had this, which is by the main landing.
Is the castle one, though, where is that one at?
That's one by the, I want to say the middle, whereby like MIB, but that middle area, by the water.
Okay. Because I was going to say, would have been smart, but I guess those were there, but it would have been smart over by the torture fair.
Yeah. I think it's Universal Monster.
Okay. I mean, if you give me more on it, sure. Love it.
Sure. But let's not besmirch this. Insidious, the further. I love the red door on the left. So you are a fan of that as well, then?
The look of the booth, yes.
Yeah.
The house?
The house, not so much. I'm a fan of the booth house.
That red door, not so much.
What this really excites me about, because as we've said for the past, I would say 5 years, 6 years, they have leaned into food. Yeah. And
which is very, very smart. Like, I know people that go just for the food. Mm-hmm. And, like, the theming of it is fantastic. I hope that they kind of stick with the not spicy. I think they kind of, hopefully, fingers crossed, learn their lesson from that 1 year.
Right.
Because you really cut out a lot of people with that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And I'm saying that because I'm allergic to some of the things. So it wasn't like, oh, I just can't handle
just
spicy.
give a plain option.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like balance. But they do a good job of theming. And I have not thought I want to start like really thinking about what food items they could possibly have for those. Because I'm all in. Like, find me there. Screw the houses. Find me at the food houses. That's where I'm
at the food house. I'm at the food house.
The food house.
I'm in line at Ghostbusters. I don't see you. I'm out of line at food house. I'm by a table eating. So I did not make that too strong, so I don't know what the heck's going on.
No, like legit. You're gonna be in line for Insidious, and I'll be at the food house.
That's what I'm saying. I'm in the queue for Insidious. Where are you? Oh, I'm in the queue. The food house.
For the Insidious house. Yes,
Insidious
I am.
house.
And I'll take a selfie with the red door and be like, I'm here. Where are you?
Where are you?
With my food.
I just passed Darth Maul. Darth Maul handed me my mochaccino.
Oh my god. Now that house I can get behind.
That's
the
right.
Food house.
Food house. Jesus.
Sent me over the edge.
I can tell.
Just because it's so true.
It's funny. The food house is where it's at.
Sorry, guys.
New shirt. Find me at the food house. The HHN Food House. God damn.
I know.
So with the two Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is happening? Well,
Keep
let's
going.
settle. I will go because this was a question for you, but I guess I'll take it. So with the two food booths, I do feel that it's going to have more drink, more food options than ever for that property.
Yeah.
Like I remember Ghostbusters 2019 and like we got s'mores fries. We got a Blinky cup.
Yeah.
I think I'm more certain than ever we'll get another Blinky cup that is Ghostbusters only. Mm-hmm. And I wonder the food because the idea of the movie, Fire and Ice.
Yeah.
So spicy and not spicy.
Fair.
Drinks not spicy. So is there anything that you would really want to see outside of the s'mores thing? I think s'mores.
Right. I mean, we get it. We get that
exactly.
one. I think that you would have a lot of options. Like this is where I can see some fried food for like not the spicy, but like the fire aspect, and then something like I don't know, because even when you think about it, like with drinks, like you wouldn't want a drink there that involves like a blender and trying to keep that going. I mean, it's possible, I guess. You could have that in the food house. That's fine.
The food house is allowed a blender.
The food house is allowed.
Fucking Brooks over here is like, where's the behind the screams tour of this?
Oh my god.
Where's the behind the num num?
Okay, on the real though, if they had, you know how like last year they had like trial the food beforehand, blah blah blah. Give me a like passport type thing where it's like you can go to all the food.
Each one.
Yeah, food booths.
Make it a daytime option.
Yeah, you can go to all the food booths and get like one item from. You know what I mean? This or like a food item and a drink.
Right.
Dude, get on it. I would be all over that.
Okay.
It would be the food house tour.
The food house tour. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You go to 3 booths or 6. And they'll email you which ones.
And
you'll find out.
Don't worry, your IPs are not in the 3.
Wait! Don't spoil! Though, I will say this about the Insidious food booth. If whoever is at the register, I'm giving this for free.
Oh, okay.
I'm giving this to you for free. At the Insidious. Person pays for the stuff, they get the receipt, and if you need to tell them where to go, you go, tiptoe to the window, and you'll get your food.
Okay, that was funny. Oh my god.
I've been sitting on that for like 4 minutes.
Move further.
Please, tiptoe through the window. Further, tiptoe through the window. Through the window.
Okay. You're spiking the mic.
To the further. All right. We also got our announcement today. They finally released it after it was kind of cool. I'm not going to lie to you because today's Wednesday, so they've done it through the week. Little bits here and there. We got lockers with the mascot. We got a phone on the wall.
Right.
We got barrels of the Purge. They finally announced today that Into the Blumhouse is on its way.
Yeah.
Scarezone is coming to Halloween Horror Nights Orlando. And as you can see here, we have the Black Phone, the Grabber. We got Megan Mathregan. We got the Killer from Freaky and the Killer from Happy Death Day.
Okay.
all on this. So I'm purely excited about this because I know
This
there's
is going to be people like standing at the
just
taking
Instagramming.
selfies. Yep, selfies.
Hashtag
Selfies.
freaky. Hashtag baby doll murderer.
Well, because they're all on the stage, which I love, which kind of like protects them.
I think they'll be roaming too.
Do you?
Well, because
I think you'll
some of
have
those-
some people, maybe, but I think like those big characters, I think they're on the stage and that you cannot like get close to them.
So here's the only thing that I'll say.
Now they
about
could
that.
come close and like lean over and be like, "Meh."
I think I can't wait till the fucking grabber. Can I get a pic, grabber? Sure.
No, he's gonna take the black balloons and like cover your face.
Right, exactly. But that's what I was going to bring up. Wow, you're feeling it today, bud. The problem that I see, though, with that theory is that I do see the grabber being on stage at some point, but being moved down because there is an area with a black phone. He's going to have to be by that black phone. Purge people are going to be slamming on the drum barrel.
No, I do see that, but I feel like
But they're
those
not gonna
main characters are going to be up on stage.
I disagree. Hard disagree. Megan can't dance on that.
Yes, she can.
No, she can't. She can do a little. She can do this.
Yeah, she's
move.
gonna do that
She
move
can do
on
this.
the
Just
stage.
do the thing, man. But that's the announcement. What do you feel? My initial reaction was yes, finally back to an IP being in a scare zone.
Yes.
I feel like it's been forever since an IP has been a scare zone. I could be
100%.
wrong.
No, you're.
I can't remember the last time. Like, I think the last time, if I remember, Zombieland. I could be lying. Call me a liar if you will. But I swear to God, I think Zombieland was the last one.
I think you might be right.
Because I feel like everything else has been original.
Now I feel like I have to look.
Original. So Brooke just checked.
Yes.
And Crypt TV was from 30.
Yeah.
That's not a fucking IP. Okay, if that's an IP, this show's an IP. Because literally it's a YouTube show.
That's fair.
No, that's not an IP.
I
I'm
just
sorry.
said that's fair.
Yeah, I'm yelling
No,
at them.
that's fair.
I'm looking at them. But then 29, Zombieland, as I said, was the last time. So for me, 30, 31, 32 hasn't
And
had
Zombieland
one.
also that year had the Rob Zombie.
Rob Zombie's Hillbilly Deluxe. Exactly. So it's been a minute since a scare zone has been an IP. So I
COVID,
am
man.
excited. COVID, man. I'm excited about this. Now, let's move to the other coast.
Yeah.
What?
No. We're moving to the other coast, and
Okay.
this is where, for me, and I know for you,
I guess we should say that. Okay, go.
it deflated my balloon of excitement
From
about
seeing this.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get into West Coast, now you know the card. Now you know what Orlando's giving you. We have 4 IP houses. We have 6 original houses. We have all the scare zones, one being IP, rest original. We have a Nightmare Fuel show that's based in a circus of somewhat. That's our event. How do you look at it? Like we go in a matter of a month.
I know.
How do you feel?
I mean, like, I'm excited because obviously it's HHN. Like, how can I not be excited? I look forward to this every year. I mean, we book our hotel like super, super, super in advance, and are literally waiting for announcements and start talking about it as soon as, that season comes.
Right.
So I am a little, and this is kind of like a spoiler in the sense because we've kind of had this discussion, like you and I, and I think I kind of brought it up on one of our previous shows, like there's only 4 IPs, and realistically, I love monsters. I understand that it is surrounded by IPs, but the actual house doesn't, like that movie does not exist. So I don't hold it as high as some of the other things.
Right.
Now, I know it's going to be fantastic. It's something that I'm like 100% looking forward to, that particular house.
Right.
But for me, I'm looking at the fact that there's three IPs.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, at least that there's an IP scare zone.
Right.
But why did the prices go up as much as they did?
Let's hold that.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I wanted a little bit more. Like, I feel like every year you're taking from me. You're taking my IPs from me.
I enjoy this year's announcements. I think it's a mix of fun IP and fun original. And the originals, some of them do have that, like, oh man, that's going to be neat. I love this. The scare zones look like they're going to be fun. I like ideas for some, and some actually look like they're going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Renaissance Fair and the Bayou one.
Oh my God,
like, both
the
of those
swamp
look.
one
Yeah, the
looks
swamp one looks
gorgeous.
great. So looking forward to all these. The show, we all know how I feel about the show, and if you're new to this, me and Nightmare Fuel, we don't get along. But
it would
they've
be different
changed
if
the
they
story this time.
changed
So
it.
I'm willing to give it a chance because this year we're doing the RIP tour. So we're guaranteed to go see that show because it's a part of it. That's what I'm more excited about, being able to do this event in a new light.
Yeah.
So going into it from this moment of the announcement, I'm good with it. I'm all about it. Now, let's move to the West Coast because almost immediately after we announced the Scare Zone
For Orlando,
for Blumhouse, they announced that the Tram is going to be Enter the Blumhouse. And as you can see here, same characters are there, except we got the Tram in the background and we have a Purge character on the left as well. And if you've seen the Tram, how they usually do it is like, it's more walking than actually on the tram. You're on the tram for a little bit, and then it's like you get to walk by the Psycho house, you get to walk by the motel. They kind of make
turns into like an open house.
An open haunted house.
Yeah.
So at that moment, I'm jealous to the nines because we're getting a scare zone of it.
Right.
And they're getting a kind of pseudo house because it's also going to go through Nope. Like, how are you going to do Purge characters go in there while the Us characters are walking?
What?
Who fucking knows?
They'll probably have a food house in there too.
They might have a food house. Well,
in their open house.
Hollywood's not known for
No,
the
they
food.
don't. But I'm saying in the open haunted house, they could have an open food house.
Open food. It's really just a hot dog cart. Let's just be real, guys. Then, almost immediately after that, they announced a house, and the house is the Weeknd Nightmare Trilogy. So it's going to have shades from the After Hours and Dawn FM, then also enter in a new set of music not released just for this.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
the trilogy,
and we haven't talked a lot of Hollywood. Like we've mentioned that they are getting IPs that we have. They're doing the Universal Monsters Eternal Bloodlines. They're doing Insidious and Ghostbusters. They've even announced their own house at Midsummer with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 50th anniversary. So they went balls to the wall, in my opinion, of not only announcements, but
IPs.
What they're getting. It's just...
Which they usually do anyways. They usually have more IPs than originals.
Agreed. And for me, looking at this, as a guy that's exclusively gone to Orlando, when I look at the two maps, like... I don't know. Something about Hollywood's just kind of like, if I had all the money in the world and you put a gun to my head and I choose one, I think I'm choosing Hollywood. What? Okay, you put a water pistol to my head?
Sure.
I think I'm going to get squared in the face because why am I afraid of a water pistol? There's nothing about it that is going to threaten me. I will take you down.
That's what I prefer.
Anyways, I digress. I would choose Hollywood to go to if I had to choose one.
Okay. I think at face value, I would choose Hollywood. I have such a hard time because I'm going off of what other people have said previously, right? Because I have not gone to Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's a pipe dream type thing.
Yeah.
A bucket list item, if you will, type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it already cost us a lot of money. Like, we live in Virginia, so us going down to Orlando is an entire adventure in itself. It's not like we live near Orlando and we can just pop into, HHN there and we're paying that ticket and then,
Right.
okay, well, let's fly out to Hollywood type thing.
Right.
Like, those are two separate vacations,
Right.
if you look at it that way. But at face value, I like the IP concept at Hollywood, but based off of what people have said about Hollywood in comparison to Orlando is that Orlando's always better. So I just have such a hard time. But my issue with that is the fact that, like, why does the money get thrown for Hollywood to have all the IPs? Because that's where it's that. When you get into creative and scare actors and all of that, like the bringing to it, it's 100% Orlando. Mm-hmm. And I think even like some of the set designs and the way that they set things up in Orlando is so much better. Mm-hmm. Again, from what I have heard from multiple people and the internet has told me so. But yeah, and you can't believe everything you hear. But it's hard because but my issue lies. Here's my big issue. Mm-hmm. You cannot just rely on the fact that you have given yourself this name.
Right.
Of being that premier event, that you are better than Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Like, you also have to continuously do stuff. Like, yeah, you got the food houses on point. Mm-hmm. Like, that is my heart. And the entire atmosphere type thing, But I'm just having a hard time. Okay. I'm just having a hard time.
So it's ranty time. We all know what time it is. So after looking at that, I know how I was, and I'm still going and knowing I'm going to have a fantastic time. Mm-hmm. My issue is I shouldn't be having excuses for going into this event. Oh, well, they're building Epic Universe. Oh, the creative is pulled here to there to that. Oh, the PR is, they're kind of slumming a bit. They're like, fuck that. You said it right there. Premier event. And I'm tired of the whole catering to the Floridian atmosphere that, the originals are the best part of HHN. And if you're an IP simp, you can go wherever you want to go. Man, go F a dick, because...
Oh my gosh.
Listen to me. You can't call yourself Universal Studios Florida, come ride the movies, if I come to your horror event and there is no movie. Like, it's literally, like you said, 3 IPs that are literally coming to this event because Universal Monsters. I have to defend it. No, it's a part of the property. No, it's in-house and they don't have to do a lot. Yeah. Fucking Busch Gardens can do a Frankenstein house. They're doing a Frankenstein house.
Yeah.
So how IP is it going to get when we can really just do any of these monsters at any location? Yeah. I can go to Average Joe's fucking Notre Dame hayride and get the same thing. And guess what? They got a food house too. My problem with what we're getting is that we did some looking around today, and I am highly convinced that nobody in Florida was a part of this put out stuff and making this and that. I am convinced Hollywood made every video, because those 2 videos that we got today seemed eerily like that Insidious one, and all 3 of those are fucking creepy. Where the Ghostbusters one is the only one that I had a problem with, and we were looking at it, you fucking filmed that in Orlando. Yeah. So whoever was behind the creative of that and the filming of that, fuck you.
I feel like
that was not enjoyable.
I feel like the food houses for Ghostbusters is a better hype for Ghostbusters than that
It is. And then on top of that, like, I just
Video.
feel like I'm watching The Office, and it's that one episode where the new manager comes in and they've gathered up. It's after Michael's had sex with Jan, so he's all like taunting about it. I feel like Hollywood is Michael, because Michael at least came in and was like, look at this video. Look at cool. Look, here's our stats that you were asking for.
Yeah.
I know you didn't want that video, but at least we fucking tried. And then there's that one manager that was like, oh, I just thought this was a meet and greet. That's Orlando this year. They thought they were the meet and greet guy, and then fucking Hollywood's over here fucking plowing Jan. That's what I feel that's going down. So for me, and then let's get into, you went on Facebook, and the internet community on Facebook, because one person came out and was like, guys, I think Hollywood's got it this year. And all these dickbags come on, and they're all like, oh, you don't like it, you're not a fan, you're no fan of HHN, why don't you go to Hollywood?
Okay, but here's...
Like, get out of here!
No, I got you for this. I don't want a friend to always tell me, like, everything that
I'm
I do
pretty?
is
You don't always gotta
fantastic.
tell me I'm pretty.
No, but if something doesn't look right, or something is like, hey, this isn't up to your normal standard, you might want to say, is everything okay?
Right.
You all right?
And what did I say a couple of weeks on this show?
you all right?
HHN, are you okay?
I feel like that's where we're at. And again, and I said this to you earlier, and I feel like this is almost in my brain, in my way of thinking, like the epitome of what is going on. And it's the excuses of, like, creative is split everywhere. Money is going to Epic. Blah, 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 blah. Fine. My issue is you are in that world of where, like, your boss is like, listen, we had to get rid of Joe, and I need you to take on his job responsibilities. I'm going to give you a little bit extra. Now, I was paying Joe, let's say, $20 an hour. I'm going to pay you an extra $5 an hour to do that exact same job. So you are now doing the job of two people, and you're getting a raise. You're getting a whole extra $5, but I saved myself 15.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right, but...
Like, I feel like they are pulling back the budget.
Right.
From there.
Right.
Obviously, we're down
Right.
to 3 IPs that we're essentially paying for.
Right.
And that's a good chunk of your money.
Right.
And expecting the same results.
Right.
For less money.
Right.
Right? But you're going to charge me more.
Right.
I mean, in this entire discussion, we didn't even talk about the shit show called merch that is not selling.
Right.
So I'm hoping that they're doing some type of damage control, or being like, we got to figure out something and throw a little bit more money. And maybe that's evident in the food houses, because I feel like, why, like, oh, hello. It looks like you actually give a shit. I mean, honestly.
Right.
So
I'm actually shocked at how good that
I am too.
Look, because I was expecting white tint with, like, a spray paint ghost. I'm not even fucking kidding. At this point, I'm not.
But when I'm
paying this much,
I expect the same quality.
Yes.
And you cannot just rely on those scare actors to make your event. They do. It is fantastic. But you can't just rely on that. You cannot sit here and tell me that you are super excited and overjoyous about, oh, well, originals are fantastic. Tell me that when I'm going to be standing at the exit of, what's that, Terror Triplets or whatever the hell it is. I'm going to be standing at the exit, and I want to hear how fantastic it is.
Not like it needs to be House of the Year.
But
like,
that's what I'm saying.
And this is my kind of fucking issue right here, is like, if the originals are so great, if they're the best, why are they the ones I complain about most leaving? Because please tell me. I want you to come to me and tell me how good Hell Block was. I want you to look me in the fucking eye and tell me That house was good. That was a Busch Gardens house.
Hold on.
At best.
The only thing that saved that house from being a complete empty shit show were the scare actors.
Yes.
So that is my point of like, those scare actors were doing the best that they could given what they had, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was still talked about like, what the hell is this shit show?
Yeah.
And I felt bad because I didn't want to, like, the scare actors were fantastic. Like, I had jumps in there, but that has nothing, like, I'm paying that event while, yes, to be scared, but also to take in the scenery and everything. Like, my whole thing is, and like you said earlier, I should be walking the movies or walking, if it's an original. Yeah, there's a big difference between walking in an HHN house and walking into a Busch Gardens
or whatever
house.
Theme park
Right.
local thing you got.
Right.
100%. And
so is the price difference.
Yes.
So is the price difference. So give me what I'm essentially paying for.
I think there's a lost in translation thing here that the Universal Studios and Florida are a vacation spot.
Yeah.
It is about bringing people. And I know there are HHN fans that are going to go no matter what. Mm-hmm. Hell, we have been on a consistent basis of going because we love it so much. Yes. But if you think I'm going to sit here and not say, damn, some of my favorite houses are Halloween, Ghostbusters, Universal Monsters, Bride of Frankenstein Lives, Cabin in the Woods, Evil Dead. If you don't think I'm not going to just push these movies to the front, you're a fucking liar. Yes, and you can. Scarecrow was good. Oh God, I did like Graveyard Games. Fucking amazing. Yes, but these things are not what brings an average person. It's not just about your little cult community. It is about the wide scope of these things to make money, and the way you bring them in are the IPs. Stranger Things, all these big ones, they're great. What's the big one this year? Because I'm pretty sure Ghostbusters only made $200 million worldwide, so it ain't that. Insidious came out like a year ago, and it made an okay chunk of change, like $100 million, but it's not the big grand scope thing. So what was the big grand scope IP of this? Hollywood, they're on the back of millions of things they could talk about. The Weeknd, the 50th anniversary of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, with Insidious, Ghostbusters, and all the Weeknd. Right. We have so many ways that we can bring people in where I feel like the whoever is in control of Florida said, just pander to these niche groups because we don't got to worry about anybody else traveling. Well, that's a big F me.
Do you think, because like they talk about, you know, House of the Year and like that kind of stuff.
Right.
And like and a lot of times it's the original houses that are making it.
Right.
And while I understand and I hear because you can be more creative with that, but that does not mean that I want all these original houses. Like we went back to look to see, okay, like where were the IPs? Like how many? Mm-hmm. In 2019, there were 6 IPs.
6 IPs. And that's my favorite year. With sprinkled of great originals.
Yeah.
Not a year which I'm walking into, which has 6 originals. And I think I'm going to really love 3. And I think there's 3 that are going to be passable. But that's not how I should be looking at this. I should be looking at, I don't care if it's 5. You want to do 5 and 5? Okay, I'm a little bit better about that. But the fact, this 4 to 6
here's
is
my thing.
wild.
And if I have to eat my words, I'll eat my words at the end of the year if I'm like, oh my God, this is fantastic. But it makes me think of, as you guys know, Mr. Wonderful is not here because they just had a gorgeous baby girl. And one of the things, if you watch the show, I love doing is teasing and Mr. Wonderful and being that like joking on him. And throughout the beginning of the season, you can, if you go back and watch some of those episodes, I really harp in on some certain things because he hadn't announced that, you know, they were having a baby and acting like he was going. He's not going this year because, again, they just had a baby. And he literally was like, out of all the years, I'm not having as much FOMO as I thought. Right. And that's my issue.
this should be a FOMO
This
event.
should be a FOMO event.
At the beginning of a season, you were harping, and you could tell he was seething at the ideas of what's going to happen. And then we end the year, and I'm pretty sure he's like, suckers, you're wasting money.
And if it's a scenario of like, okay, fine, you had certain ideas or concepts that fell through. Mm-hmm. Okay, I get it. Fine, whatever. Because I really don't think Terror of Triplets
of Terror
was house they even wanted to exist based off of the art for that.
They didn't want to do it so bad AI's mad at them.
Dude, you know what it makes me think of?
What?
You know how Jaws 3 just got into 4K?
Yeah.
And then like AI went over?
Yeah. Smudged everybody.
It's smudged. Dude, that's what happened.
That's what happens
with
in that
this.
picture.
Yeah, with this picture. Okay, sorry.
Listen.
Again, if I gotta eat my words, I gotta eat my words. But my issue is I feel like I should be more excited to go into. And I feel like if I were to take out Insidious and the fact that it's The Further, which would combine all of the movies.
Right.
For like HHN homework, then I'm doing what? Watching one Insidious house and then A Quiet Place.
Right.
So 2 movies to prep myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Ghostbusters.
Oh, and Ghostbusters. Yeah, sorry. And Ghostbusters to prep myself.
Right.
Where does that make sense?
But even when you look at the years that were, like, there is a year that had 4, and it is a phenomenal year because it was backed by great original. It was Stranger Things, Poltergeist, and Trick or Treat.
Oh yeah.
Banger after banger after banger.
And that also
those are very iconic
I was
IPs
gonna
at
say,
that time.
those are not only iconic, but those also have like their cult followers that, I mean, let's be honest, how long ago did Trick or Treat come out?
And I didn't even mention Halloween 4.
Spirit Halloween is still making, and not just Spirit Halloween, like a lot of places are still making new merch for a movie that is how old?
Like, what's wild to me, and
because
this
it's
is
so popular.
You're telling me you couldn't get Terrifier, as much as I don't like that movie, and I know the internet loves it, but you're telling me you couldn't get that indie movie? You know how many fucking horror nerds would have came just for that? Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan of it, but you know what? I know it has an audience, and that's the thing. Audience. And I think the audience they're pitching to, which is just the yokels, is just a little too much. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the yokels thinking they deserve special treatment. Like the Frequent Fear selling out with the Express, and then they got so mad that some of them would say, well, they should just exclusively sell it to us because we go the most.
Yeah.
I don't think you understand what that thing's designed for. It's designed for people that can't go as often and try to go through all of it at once.
Right.
You have the option to go through the entire season.
Like, I only have X many days. Like, I will say most people that are coming in on vacation have 2-3 days to, like, make it through.
Right.
All of those houses. And most of those people do want to, if they're there for 3 or 4 days, I would like to go through a house more than once.
Right.
So that Express
kicks in
because I only have 3 days or 4.
And let's not talk about the shiesty where they've canceled people's RIP because someone rented it.
Oh, dude. I would be so angry.
Yeah. There's just a lot of it. And look, I get it. This entire last fucking half hour has just been nothing but negative. And I'm allowed to express this right now because I want it out before I go on my trip.
That is very fair. That's very fair. But I also don't think that it's completely negative. I think that some of it is very valid. And again, if your response is, well, don't go.
Right.
Then
you're not listening.
You're not listening to what we're saying. That would be like somebody being like, oh my God, I hate work. Like my boss, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, then just quit.
Yeah, quit.
Just quit.
Just quit.
And it's like, so you're telling me I can't voice some frustrations I have or things that are bothering me and hoping to make it better?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you just have to get certain things out. And what we're hoping is not necessarily that we're hoping, but maybe validating some feelings that some people might be having, because it's okay to feel that and still go. Right. Just like you can be like, I don't necessarily love this shirt, but I support the event, so I want to get something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you can do both.
I didn't love the Epic Universe merch for Dark Universe. Still got a fucking shot glass.
Yep.
May not have been my favorite thing, but I'm showing a support for the thing I'm looking forward to. And I've looked at this Ghostbuster merch, my favorite property of all time, and I can't even get the Frozen Empire merch that they made because it looks goddamn horrendous. And I'm hopeful, God, I'm hopeful the tribute gods come in and they give us some sweet, sweet merch during that I'm like, oh yeah, I want this, I want this. I want to get back on to
whoever is doing their Ghostbuster merch that they just put out in the summer tribute store, I hope. And we didn't get to talk about this. We didn't get to talk about this, and this is not on your list of things. But we do know that the tribute store will be in New York, which I'm excited about. And I say this because we did the VHS for the summer one, and we got the email saying, we're not closing that one until September 3rd, if not longer, possibly. You know, do you want your VHS tape now or hold off and possibly at the end of the year? And we said hold off. But that means,
I'm pretty sure most people probably said that.
Yeah. But that means regardless, even if they close on September 3rd, like that wouldn't be, like the event has already started at that point, which means that the tribute store is in New York.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited, and I hope that maybe a saving grace will be that they have IPs in the tribute store.
I'm hopeful. It hasn't happened for a very long time, just like the scare zones. So we will see if that happens.
Last one
I'm sorry for the harsh words. I don't really mean to the creative and
but I don't
scare
think
actors.
It's creative.
Love you guys.
It's budget.
It's budget.
Like, it's so
it's business
clear.
people. All the business people that are making these decisions, go fuck yourself.
Like, do you even like the event?
I love. Yeah, exactly. Like, are we just a fucking money mark to you, or what is it? I don't quite understand how this year is literally riding on a reputation of the last.
Right.
Like, it almost feels like it's Halloween Horror Nights 33. Never go alone. Remember when we said never go alone? Because never go alone's our slogan. You like that, right? Here, put Jack in the corner. There's Jack. Oh, do you love the director? Director's here too. Oh, we do this. Like, I don't understand the idea of living on the rep if we're just trying to push forward. Because they keep teasing, oh no, we want to create new things. Oddfellow, remember Oddfellow? Oddfellow couldn't be fucking mentioned because IPs were, Stranger Things had to be the front and center thing. He didn't even get a fucking banner out there. So if we're so proud of our originals, why aren't the originals being advertised to the national audience?
Can I say something?
Yes.
If there is not some level of backlash.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And everybody still says, like, oh, this is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's like, oh, so we can cut this budget down to this.
Yep.
And it can still work.
It lasted.
It worked. People still came. People still loved. People. Nobody complained.
Yep. Except us.
And here's the thing. This is why we both are making it very clear. It's not the scare actors. It's not the creative. But you can only do so much when you are given so much. Like, the creative is not sitting there being like, okay, so let me just get more money. Because I'm pretty sure they're like, no, this is your budget. Make it work.
Right.
So, to me, the one that I am arguing with is on the budget end.
And
this is your premiere event. This is your money-making event.
Right.
Give it the money.
Right.
Give it the money.
Because I can go to your...
People are paying... This event, people are paying extra to go to.
Right.
This isn't Mardi Gras.
This ain't holidays.
Where it's not an extra ticketed event. This isn't holidays. It's not an extra ticketed event. This is your one, essentially, and only extra ticketed event.
Right.
So, the budget should reflect that.
And I think 100% to that. And what this year is going to, because if I come back and I'm like, it was fine, I'm never coming back to a fine year. I will specifically watch next year. And guess what? We live in the internet age where there's 1 million podcasts, there's 14,000 vloggers, there's internet chat rooms, there's all the, if even I see the iota of this spec map coming out and it's like, oh, 3 IPs. Oh, they only announced this many.
Honey, you're not going to get
but
that.
No, listen,
you're going to
no,
get pictures again,
yeah,
and you have to decipher.
Yeah, and I don't feel like working. But by the time the event, I will hold off on buying tickets.
Yeah.
And by the time all these announcements, I might not be able to do RIP or Get Express or any of that, but I'm certainly as shit not going. Yeah. And then on top of that, if any of these people got anything to say to me, if you're going to leave your comments and you're mad at what...
I don't think they will. I think that if they do, like if there's a level of being like, oh, you're going to go anyway. Yeah, we already said that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We are going. And we're going to rock and sack.
I also
but
feel
if
like
I see
I can't...
equivalent, if I see something that looks like this year, next year, I ain't going.
Right.
I ain't fucking going.
I ain't going.
I am fucking leaving. Okay? That's what's happening. Especially if it's just fine. But if you're a goddamn person that's going to come into this comment and start talking S, I'm going to tell you what they can do.
I'm listening.
They can lick my goddamn cinnamon ring and then kick rocks all the way to neckbeard hell.
Good quote.
Thank you. Thank you for listening, watching to the last Hunters podcast, because I'm sure we're going to get shadow banned. We're going to get demonetized. I'm going to owe YouTube money for some reason. This is
your water pistol.
My water pistol. Shots of vodka. All right. So, next week.
That's just where you end it.
No.
End.
Next week, we have a hype list. We are doing a hype list because there is a hype. There is a hype to be had, and we're going to have special guests.
You know how usually, like, you try to figure out what's at the top? It's going to be like, so what's at the bottom? But, like, That's
the problem. What's your number one hype house? Ghostbusters Frozen Empire Food House.
Oh, yeah, it is.
There it is. All right.
Spoilers.
So, since he ain't here, you do the thing.
Stay scary, my friends.